time has finally come. It is our WrestleMania 41 predictions. Let's start off with night one and the first match here that we have on the list. War Raiders versus the New Day for the World Tag Team titles. I will say, I'm a little surprised that they didn't go with the SmackDown, the WWE Tag Team titles, to have them on the card. Also, just as a note, we're not going to be getting the women's mid-card titles. So the US and the Intercontinental title, they're not going to be defended at the show. This build has been kind of just so-so, found it very average. What about you? Basically, the New Day just turned heel, and then for several months, just kind of meandering throughout this whole thing. The War Raiders eventually just kind of came out, and it was, I guess, declared that New Day were #1 contenders. They had a DQ finish to their previous match together. This one, I have no doubt, is going to be a lot of fun, but I am going to say New Day is going to win, get those tag team titles. War Raiders just really aren't doing a whole lot with them. Next, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I can't wait for this. I hope this opens night one, because I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that it's great to see Rey at WrestleMania as always, and what gear he's going to wear. And El Grande Americano, I think, is going to put on a show of shows, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's going to be just top-notch stuff that we've never even seen before from the Masked Luchador. This I'm kind of torn because it's Rey. I feel like they like to give Rey a big win at WrestleMania. El Grande Americano debut Mania match. I'm gonna go with El Grande because that's who I want to see win. I could totally see them just going with Rey, and even if this match did open the show, it'd be a feel-good moment to have Rey Mysterio win, but I'm going with El Grande because it's just fun. Another match I am looking forward to here is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. They've done a really good job, I feel like, on TV every single week building this up. This has felt like just a good old-fashioned grudge match. This, I feel, is the time to take Jade and make her as a big single star. Naomi has done a fantastic job as a heel, and finding that character and all the caution tape, her cinematic backstage moments that she's done, it's all worked really, really well. The brawls, the beatdowns, Naomi and Bianca, their relationship, the promos they did, all of it has clicked. Jade coming back at Elimination Chamber, huge pop. I think that this will be really good. I hope for the best. Now, I do think that ultimately Jade is going to win this match. Naomi will lose. Naomi has just done such a great job. But you know what they can do, though? They can continue this feud if they want to past WrestleMania, because I do think that there's more life in it. But also, depending what happens with the women's triple threat, Bianca and Naomi need and could cross paths once again, because I think that there's a lot they could do there. Imagine if Bianca wins, and then you could have Naomi show up and take her out, and then you have a giant blood feud going on. But anyways, Jade, I think, wins this match. I think it's going to be fun, and I'm very excited for it. The next match, I am also very excited for. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Gotta figure Solo is going to have a role in this whole thing. I'm torn because Jacob has been on such a roll, but you know, when he goes into singles matches, he gets cheered. The crowd really loves Jacob Fatu, but they really love LA Knight as well. I am gonna say that LA Knight retains. Can't have all the heels going over here, so I think LA Knight will hold on to that US title, and he can go into a different feud, maybe even switch brands, and he can go over to Monday Night Raw or something with the US title. But Jacob, I think, will lose, and it'll be like his first real loss in WWE. I think it will come of the hands of Solo Sikoa. I think they turn on him, and that sets up their feud for the next several months so that they can finish that off. I don't see Jacob winning the title, and then, I mean, they could do it. They could have Jacob win the title, and then you could have Solo do a big celebration for Jacob on SmackDown the following week, only to turn on him, and then that sets up their match. So it really depends. I don't know. I am gonna stick with it though. I'm saying LA Knight retains. Jacob eats his loss at WrestleMania, but it's because of Solo Sikoa. Now, it's not written in here, but we'll tackle this now, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Orton does not have a match at WrestleMania, and as of Friday Night SmackDown, still doesn't. Solo came out and they did a tag team match, and I groaned because I was like, oh no, are we gonna get Randy versus Solo at Mania just because? I really hope not. Randy even teased Nick Aldis. Do the right thing here, WWE. Randy versus Nick Aldis is what we want. The NWA World's Champion going up against the Viper. That's what I really want to see happen here. So here's my theory with Randy Orton. He doesn't have a match. I don't think we find out who his opponent's going to be. I hope it's not Solo. I hope it's just not a Solo match. It does nothing for me. What I can see happen though, night one, we have LA Knight, Fatu. Solo cost Fatu the match. Night two, they set up Solo versus Randy Orton to be the match, but Jacob Fatu takes out Solo. Maybe it's not revealed that Jacob did the attack backstage before Mania. So then Solo's not in the match, and that leaves Nick Aldis to have the match with Randy Orton. He steps in, or he goes with somebody different like Aleister Black, and they have Aleister Black debut at Mania. Nick Aldis needs somebody to come out there and challenge Randy Orton because Solo Sikoa is no longer available. Something fun like that, and it kind of crosses over both nights. Ultimately, I want Aldis versus Orton. Whoever Randy Orton's opponent's going to be, I do think Randy Orton wins, because I think that was the original plan with Kevin Owens. So Randy Orton wins his match. What do you guys think is going to actually be that match for Orton, though? How do you think it's going to go down? Continue on with night 1, the World Heavyweight Championship match, Gunther versus Jey Uso. This could open up WrestleMania night 1. It depends on like the lighting too, I find. Like if it's a bright evening for night 1, you want the yeeting and the lights and all of that at night to make it like to feel really good, but it's not going to be the main event. So I could see them doing it just opening the show. This feud has picked up in the last 2 weeks. Promo by Jey, the whole beatdown, the bloody beatdown, everything with Gunther doing it to Jimmy, Jey needing to avenge his brother and getting the confidence back. This story has turned for me in a good way. It was just dragging our feet for just so many weeks. I wasn't into it. But no matter what happens on the next episode of Raw and then go home, Jey Uso is beating Gunther. That's my lock of the night. They want that moment of Jey with the belt, holding it up, celebrating. Jimmy comes out, hugs him, and you get the entire stadium doing the yeet, all of that. That's what they want to see, and it also just propels into Monday Night Raw, where you have a giant celebration with Jey Uso holding the world title. Jey's beating Gunther one way or another. I hope he dishes out some good moves. I hope it's not just a super kick fest. WrestleMania 40 match, Jimmy and Jey, was not good. I hope that Gunther can really bring out a big match out of Jey, and they can make it really compelling. I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, my possibly most anticipated match of all of WrestleMania right now is going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, the women's WWE championship. And I think you could do it either way. I'm going to say that Tiffany Stratton is going to retain the title and Charlotte's gonna go bye-bye. I don't think they pull the trigger on Charlotte getting the belt, and I say this is my most anticipated match. Why? Because it's been cringe and it's just been uncomfortable, and the whole blow-up segment they did in the ring with Wade Barrett in there, it was awesome. It's a train wreck, and they did kind of recover. They did a parking lot brawl segment on SmackDown that was just on social media, so that helped. And then you had Charlotte come in just regular street gear. She looked like a normal lady, so she came in and beat Tiffany Stratton up at the announce desk on SmackDown. So I think maybe to get like a video package or something to go home for this, and we don't need another talkie segment as much as I want it. It'll be just interesting to see what they do in the ring. I think they're both professional enough that when it comes to the bell ringing, they could pull it off and they'll pull off something fun. But I do think ultimately this is all designed to get Tiffany Stratton to a next level, beat somebody that's at the tippy top like Charlotte. You know what? I think Charlotte goes away for a little while, then they reassess and try to figure out what they could do with her next. Tiffany is gonna win. The main event for WrestleMania Night 1. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. The wise man Paul Heyman is in the corner of CM Punk. How is this all going to play out? Comment below for me, guys. Okay, we can break this down a number of ways. Number one, do I think Roman Reigns is going to win? I think Roman's the least likely person to win this thing, oddly enough, since Roman Reigns has just been Mr. WrestleMania for so long. I don't think he needs the win, and also if he does win, Roman, typically, he's gone bye-bye right after Mania until SummerSlam. That's how it was last year. So I don't see Roman being around to continue any type of story. I don't think Roman wins. So then Punk or Seth? Very tricky in my eyes. I'm a Punk guy. I like Punk. I like all the guys in this match, and I'm really liking Seth Rollins right now too, because of the intrigue with Paul Heyman. Could they just have CM Punk get that victory at WrestleMania? Maybe. You know, they did it where they gave him the WrestleMania Night 1 main event. In storyline, that's the contract, that's the deal, and he got Paul Heyman in his corner. Are they really gonna do it one more step where they have him win? It's a big triumphant moment for him. Big celebration. Punk ends Night 1. Everyone's gonna be cheering and going crazy for it. If he does win and you got Paul Heyman with him, that's a big moment for Punk too. Not only getting the main event, but winning in the main event. Where would the story go from there? I'm not sure. So then you have the possibility of Seth Rollins getting the win. I think Seth needs the win based off of everything he has gone through for the last several years, frankly. He's getting a WrestleMania main event again. He's got so much history with Roman, so much history with Punk, and the X factor of Paul Heyman, and Seth trying to butter up to Paul Heyman a little bit. He's talked about how he almost smashed his head open and he's gonna get a favor from him. Probably not. But I think there is way more intrigue long term if you have Seth pick up the win at WrestleMania. I don't think Punk needs the win. He's getting the main event, which was seemingly his goal with all of this for like a year was about getting to the main event of WrestleMania. So now he does that. Does he need to win? Not necessarily. If you give it to Seth Rollins, who hits multiple curb stomps to everybody and he pins CM Punk in the ring, you could somehow, some way have Paul Heyman walk out of WrestleMania with Seth Rollins. That to me just adds so much intrigue coming out of it. And you have now all of the stories continuing. You can do the one-on-one story of Punk and Seth with the wise man involved. You can go back and by SummerSlam or something, you could have Roman and Seth and Paul Heyman involved, Punk and Roman. A lot more dynamics to still flush out with all of this. And it gives Seth a fresh coat of paint and a new twist on his character. I'm gonna say Seth Rollins wins WrestleMania night 1, and they do it in a nice big shocking fashion. I think it's almost the safe bet to go with Punk winning and just celebrating with Paul Heyman. I think you need something, because for all of WrestleMania in a bucket, to me, hasn't been the most exciting of builds, like across the board, the whole thing. I think you need something to come out of Mania that gets people talking. Seth walking out with Paul Heyman, that's the way you do it. WrestleMania night 2, everybody. By the way, if you want to help us out, our goal here, it's Matt, hi, is to hit 50,000 subscribers by WrestleMania, and I'm out of time here, everybody. We got like a week to go, so I don't know if we're gonna do it or not, but I would love it if I could get your support. You click that button, it's totally free. Hit subscribe, hit the like on the video. That gets us to our goal, because we're at like 30 something. We could get to 50 with your help. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I'm gonna say Logan Paul wins. I think that this feud has been just kind of flat. It's been whatever, and I think it's more going to be an in-ring showcase between these two guys. Possibly one of AJ Styles' last WrestleManias. I'm sure he's gonna have a couple more, but it's going to be one of his last ones, and I always love AJ Styles in the ring. So it's going to be more of a contest inside the ring to see, hey, what could they pull off? What cool moves are they going to do? I hope I don't get a prime bottle guy. I don't want an influencer coming out and interfering in their brass knuckles and stuff. Let's just put down, let's just have a badass match that's going to be killer in the ring. But I do think Logan Paul, for his character, he's probably going to need to win. I'm not a Logan Paul guy. I don't need him on my TV. Just period, just not into it. But I'm gonna say Logan Paul wins, because it gives him more bragging rights coming out of Mania. He's lost quite a bit, so I think he does kind of need it. And AJ, he doesn't really suffer from the losses. He's just kind of that just solid veteran they have. He can show up the next week and go fighting for like the IC title and it won't matter. Logan Paul wins. A match I was not sure they were gonna do, but coming out of SmackDown, I'm very, very happy we are gonna get it. It's confirmed. It's gonna be a Sin City Street fight. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Loving this feud. When it first started, didn't care for it because I thought Drew McIntyre could be doing so much more, and I was worried that they weren't gonna be able to do anything with it. Thankfully, they've heated it up every single week. You had the spot going through the car window from Priest to Drew. Drew actually getting something in his eyes. We had the eye patch. Wasn't sure if he was going to make it to Mania. And he does a really fun reveal on SmackDown where he pulls the eye patch off. He's totally fine. Out of all this, everybody, Priest gives us probably the best reaction, the best sell job of all time. Look at this thing. The eyes on this man. He had nowhere else to go. This guy got dummied, and I love it. This thing, I feel like this will be my dark horse match of Mania. Two guys I think have a lot they want to prove. They want to show what they can do at WrestleMania. I think because it's a street fight, they got freedom to do a lot more. I suspect this will be one of the biggest, most standout matches of all of WrestleMania weekend. I can't wait for it. I am going to say Drew McIntyre wins. He lost the feud to CM Punk. He really needs it. Damian Priest, outside of Drew McIntyre, has not done a lot. And I don't think Damian Priest winning is going to propel him up the card to do anything that different. Let's get some heels, some wins. I think Drew wins. I think he really needs it and can utilize it and maybe move him up to championship rankings. Not that WWE follows championship rankings, but you know what I mean. I think Drew needs it. Women's tag team titles. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, the champions, going up against the newly crowned #1 contenders from the gauntlet match, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, your Intercontinental Champion. And this match is very much thrown together in my eyes. Happy everybody's making it on the card. Bayley's at WrestleMania. Lyra's first WrestleMania, I believe. But man, the gauntlet match was fun on SmackDown. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. I like Secret Hervis a lot personally. And they did kind of what I thought they would do. Bayley and Lyra going the distance through this whole thing to kind of get everyone behind them. They're #1 contenders. Yeah, that's great. But when I look at the whole card, you couldn't have built for the last 6 weeks something for Chelsea to get a US title instead of this. Lyra built up enough to have a IC title, maybe a multi-woman IC title match with Bayley and Lyra and somebody else. And you didn't put the men's WWE tag team titles on the line, and those guys have been doing a ton for months building this thing up. I feel like that was a missed opportunity not putting them on the card. And frankly, I think you could have just added them to the card overall and didn't have to take away a match. But for this one, Bayley and Lyra just thrown together right now, it doesn't have me very interested in the match. I'm sure it'll be good, but it's what comes out of all of it. I'm gonna say Raquel and Liv retain the titles, and I hope it results in Bayley maybe turning heel on Lyra, setting up a feud for them, a proper feud, and then Bayley can go after the IC title. Also, this could then maybe predict or help with what's going to happen in the men's Intercontinental Championship match. So that's next. Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dom Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Fatal 4-way match. I wish this was like an elimination match to add a little bit more intrigue. However, still really excited for it. I want to see that big Braun Breaker spear. I want to see Penta's entrance and what Penta will pull off in his first WrestleMania. Kudos to him making it to Mania already. The real story for me here is going to be the relationship between Dom and Finn, and does it come to a boiling point? I think that you are going to get either Finn or Dom walking out with the IC title. If Liv and Raquel retain, Judgment Day has gold still. They're not falling apart. They want to add new members, and I think we are going to see Finn Balor getting the boot and exiting Judgment Day pretty soon. This could also be, like Drew and Damian Priest, I think the men's Intercontinental title match. I think this will stand out as a really awesome match. I'm really anticipating this one to be good, but I feel like at the very end, let's have Dom Mysterio pick up the Intercontinental Championship and let him run with it. And I think you do it by having them pin Finn Balor. The chatter between the two of them for weeks is just Finn putting down Dom, and I think he pulls an Eddie Guerrero and maybe he just gives him a roll up, and Dom surprisingly, shockingly wins the IC title. And then you have Liv and Raquel come out, they celebrate, they got gold, Judgment Day is happy, Finn is disgruntled, doesn't like that, and that continues their story. So you could set up it like Backlash, Finn versus Dom, for example. More of the splitting of the Judgment Day. But it'd be a huge moment for Dom, because you got to think of it too. Dom has been in WWE now for several years. He's picked up tag titles, but he has not picked up that singles title on main roster. NXT North American Champion, yes, but I think it'd be really cool. Get Dom that IC title. Let's heat up Dom again. The Women's World Heavyweight Championship triple threat match. Io Sky, the champion, going up against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Kind of like a lot of feuds going into WrestleMania. Some stuff has been solid or it's been kind of flat, and then it heats up a little bit and it's flat. This has been good and mixed for me. I've enjoyed some of the segments. I enjoyed the special guest referee match. Bianca has been a standout for me in this whole thing, but the continuous repetition of like contract signing and pie facing Io, all of that, and then Io attacking over and over again hasn't really clicked for me. And I don't know what they could have done as an alternative here, but I really can see this being the standout match, one of the standout matches for WrestleMania weekend. 3 top women in the whole division, all WWE, going at it. And it's going to be interesting how their characters kind of play out during the match, specifically Rhea Ripley, because Rhea is being presented much more desperate, wanting to get that title back that she lost. Bianca is interesting because I feel she's leaning more on the heel side, and that's what I want from Bianca. I want her to come out as a heel. Win, lose, or draw. Io, I think, is firmly cemented as a babyface right now, and the crowd loves her. I gotta say, I'm going with Bianca Belair. She hasn't lost at WrestleMania. She's undefeated. I think they keep that going, and I think coming out of it, they should have Bianca go heel, and then you have Rhea feeling kind of out of place, and maybe she has to figure out what she's going to do to get back up the rankings, and she continues that desperation, and maybe it turns Rhea a little bit more on the heel side as well. But I don't want Rhea back in the title scene right away either. Like, Rhea getting the title again at Mania, I feel like that's kind of a letdown, because I'm like, what are you going to do now? You're going to go fight Liv again? You're going to fight Io again? I feel like with Rhea as champion, we've seen a lot of this stuff. Let's take a break from Rhea at the tippy top, getting the title. I know she's super popular, but it's refreshing to get different people holding the belt and different feuds happening. So that's why I'm like, I'm going Bianca. Bianca picks up that belt. I got way more intrigue coming out of WrestleMania with Bianca. And then the main event of night 2, everybody, John Cena versus WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Can John Cena pick up the 17th title? Will Cody Rhodes retain? Will The Rock play any role in all of this? How will the match go? It's the main event of night 2, and I am very interested to see how they run this match. Something I think needs to happen. So Cody Rhodes, if he wins, I don't think that does anything really. Because if Cody wins, John Cena remains a disgruntled bad guy, angry and more angry now, and then he comes back and maybe tries to fight Cody again at a later point. But ending night 2 with Cody retaining fireworks and pyro, I don't see it, because I don't know what Cody does after WrestleMania. Cody, I feel like in this current situation and iteration, he's gone through everybody this last year. He's gone 1 full year as champion, and I feel like he's run through all of the heels that they have available. I don't see Cody retaining. So my pick is going to be John Cena wins. I just wonder how they're going to do it. Does The Rock play any role in all of this? To come out to distract Cody, to get involved, to hit a rock bottom, to be the referee, to do whatever? Or does John Cena just do it all himself, gets a clean victory or clean-ish victory? It depends how they present Cena. Is he going to be more desperate? Is he going to try low blows? Is it going to be a bloody match? There's a lot of intrigue how they will do this in the match itself. But I want to see Cena come out with the title, and then we go off and we have the part-timer John Cena with that title belt. And there's enough dates in there post WrestleMania that he's gonna be around. I think him with the belt, he could drop it by SummerSlam, even back to Cody. Cena wins, but the finish of the match is like the most important thing. I'm wondering how they do it, what it looks like. I can't wait. What are your picks for WrestleMania? Predict below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys can. It means a lot. Thank you for your support. And if you guys want to talk about the feuds, the builds to WrestleMania and how they've been, check out this video right here, talking every single build going into WrestleMania. Have a great day. Enjoy WrestleMania. See ya.